It was a long night at the office, the kind of night that made you wonder why you did what you did, for the pay you got, for doing what you're doing while wondering why you're doing it. I was working overtime on a tough case when there was a strange knock on my door. Wipeout. Come in. She was the kind of woman who could walk into a room and cause a saxophone to start playing. Go away. Not you, sweetheart.
Are you Detective Longbar?
Yes. And you must be Ms. Pennymore.
You can call me sometime.
Okay, have a seat sometime.
Now?
Now would be fine. She was gorgeous, and when she sat down, I tried not to stare.
I beg your pardon.
Did I say that out loud? That was supposed to be a voiceover. Cigarette?
Detective, don't you know that smoking is responsible for more deaths than any other cause? Even obesity.
What a chart. She had great big fonts that were easy to read, and her bullets were straight and to the point. Well then, how about a celery stick?
Now that's my kind of vegetable.
We asked you to come down here today so that you can help us identify some perpetrators. Please, walk this way.
Welcome to jail. May I take your order?
Send them in, Maggie.
Will that be all for you today?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Do you recognize any of them?
They were all there at the same symposium. What was that?
You remember the sax player? He has siblings.
The symposium began with such promise. An eloquent keynote address about planning for the future. But the presentations that followed were dreadful. Before long, I had to get out.
The neck bone is connected to the shoulder bone. In turn,
More coffee, ma'am. Fresh cut cantaloupe. Some cold water to splash on your face.
Miss Pennymore, snap out of it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've been in therapy ever since.
Yes, a bad presentation can leave a lasting impact. That's why I want you to look at some of these suspects. The first one on the left is Joe Crastanato, reputed head of a family of professionals known as the Procrastinatos. Always ill-prepared, never rehearses. You say you've seen him.
Yes, his presentation was a disaster.
Hey, I'm sorry I'm late. But I have better things to do. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Muscles. I can handle this. Trust me.
Perhaps Mr. Castanado has some transparencies he can share with us. Or maybe you have some handouts? Well, perhaps you could just say a few words.
Can everybody hear me?
It was obvious. This gentleman was totally unprepared and didn't have a backup plan.
Yes, rehearsing and arriving early are crucial. How about the lady next to him, Lucy LaFont? We call her Squinty because she's notorious for hard-to-read visuals.
Oh, yes. I remember Squinty LaFont.
Can we have the lights, please?
Turning out the lights right away was her first mistake. That's a sure way to put your audience to sleep.
Would anyone like a pillow or a blanket?
I'll take one.
As you can plainly see by this slide, this is our strategic plan. Can everyone read it? No! Oh. Well. Now, this may be a little tricky to follow. It's our implementation process. Can everyone follow that? No! Oh. Oh, well, all right then. What about this? This is me on my vacation to Washington, D.C. Can everyone see this? Yes! Good. Now we're rolling. Check this out. This is me in Rome. Pretty cool, huh? Wow! And what about this? Awesome, isn't it? Dolby surround sound with layered ambience.
She completely ignored the importance of clear, readable visuals and thought she could get away with gimmicks like fancy sound effects.
You're right. The world would be a much better place, Ms. Pennymore, if people would just look at their visuals from the back of the room they're presenting in.
I like your style, Detective, and I wish you'd call me sometime.
I'll try to do that sometime.
You know, it's best for any speaker to follow the KISS principle.
Did you say kiss?
Yes. You know. Keep it simple, stupid.
Oh, kiss. Yes, of course, kiss. Well, let's move on to the next suspect, Dr. Hannibal Lectern.
Oh, the poor man.
Tell me about him.
Let's just say he's a little intimidated by speaking in front of an audience.
We examined several criteria that would ultimately help us arrive at a consensus.
There he is! Come out from behind that podium right now!
Glass of water, sir? How about an anti-anxiety pill to calm your nerves?
No, I'm all right. I can do this. I'm going to stand up here in front of this huge crowd and make this presentation. Some of the criteria for arrival at consensus was timeliness of data.
He was scared of his own shadow.
Criteria
It was like he was talking to himself, something so many presenters do. He even managed to bore the socks off his audience.
Our fourth criteria, quality of data.
You can't just stand there and read your slides. You have to make a connection with your audience.
Have you made that connection, Detective?
I said no sax.
No. Sax?
That's right, no sax. Let's move on to our next suspect, Susan B. She's a real piece of work, nicknamed Bumble because she buzzes around from topic to topic. Real hard to follow.
Oh, yes. I remember her. But I don't remember much about her presentation.
Caloric intake is the principal determining factor when observing patients. For instance, take a look at this giant sequoia from the redwood forest of California. Had this tree been a person, there's no way it could have survived in the limited process afforded inhabitants of cities, which are engaged in rat races of epic proportions.
Not only was her content thoroughly disorganized, but she clearly had no clue who her audience was.
Chemistry comes in somewhere, colliding with all of the things that are necessary. Yes.
Not the children.
You have to know your audience, first and foremost. Fortunately, she was followed by Balloonhead, the clown, who did know his audience. But Susan B. clearly failed to organize and structure her thoughts to suit her audience's needs. There wasn't a trace of a clear beginning, middle, or end.
Good points. Well, lastly, there's Miles Long, also known as Much Too Long. Very hostile to his audience's needs, mainly because he's determined to cover everything, regardless of the time available.
Right. Instead of involving the audience, he almost views them as an obstacle to achieving his communications objectives.
Now, if we take a look once again to the charts, we'll find that the East slightly lower in sales than expected in the first quarter, but did rise a bit in the second quarter, as did the spending for the West. However, bottoming out just a bit on the North in the second. In the third, the East grew precipitously in the spending. How much time do I have?
You're 20 minutes over already.
I have so much material left to cover.
Hey, can we take a break?
No! No, I'm sorry, but there's just not enough time. Let us move back to the chart, shall we? Now, you'll notice in the fourth quarter in the East, things drop very low. Also in the West, put your hands down! Put your hands down, all of you! Don't move! Don't move! I have a remote, and I'm not afraid to use it!
And that, of course, is where you came in, Detective.
All right, Miles, drop the remote and no one will get hurt. All we want is for you to let the audience go.
Okay, Maggie, you can take them out now.
Okay, please pull around to the second window.
Well, they're all pretty bad, aren't they?
Yes, they are. In fact, I don't know which one is worse.
Well, as a safety precaution, we'll keep them locked up until they know who their audience is, and they promise to interact with the audience and not with their slides. We won't release them until they adequately prepare for their presentations, which includes developing slides that are legible and that make sense, and also organize their content in a clear and concise manner. Then they must agree to arrive at their speaking engagement ahead of time to make sure all audiovisual equipment is functioning properly, and have a backup plan, such as transparencies or handouts, just in case. Last but not least, if they can remember that it's better to finish a little early than a lot late, then maybe they'll be able to re-enter into society.
Their audiences will thank you, Detective.
Would you like to go for a cup of coffee sometime?
Sure. When?
I don't know. Sometime.
Well, how about now?
Maybe I don't want to do it now.
Oh, well, maybe you can call me some other time.
I'd rather call you sometime.
Detective.
Now would be good. Neither of us knew what would happen next, but we both knew a lot more about making a good presentation.
I can't speak, hope I remember what to say. I can't speak, just like I practiced yesterday.
That's right. No sex.
You know I'm counting off the minutes. What a way to start the day. I can't speak, girl, I just
Welcome
don't
to
got
jail.
the nerve.
May I take your order?
I can't speak, you're really throwing me a curve. You know I'm counting off the minutes. I'd rather join the reserve.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Muscles. I can handle this. Trust me.
Can we have the lights, please?
Would anyone like a pillow or blanket?
I'll do
I can't speak, hope my tie is on straight.
colliding with all of the things that are necessary.
I can't speak, better never than be late. You know I'm counting off the minutes. I'm really in a hopeless state. I can't speak, you know my heart just skipped a beat. I can't speak.
There he is. Come out from behind that
better
podium
look
right
down
now.
on my cheat sheet. You know I'm counting off the minutes.
You're 20 minutes over
till
already.
I'm back out on the street.
Hey, can we take a break?
I can't speak, got a case of stage fright. I can't speak, I'm a Toastmaster's delight. You know I'm counting off the minutes.